Compassion is not just kindness. It is the ability to feel the suffering of others and to respond with a sincere heart. In Buddhism, we see compassion as a path to both helping others and healing ourselves. When we open our hearts to others, we also open the door to our own peace and happiness. Scientific studies show that acts of compassion can reduce stress, improve mental health, and even strengthen the immune system. When we help others, our brain releases oxytocin, sometimes called the love hormone. This hormone lowers anxiety and creates feelings of warmth and connection. In Buddhism, we have always understood this truth. Kindness benefits not just the receiver, but also the giver. Many people think compassion is something big, like donating large amounts of money or doing charity work. But in daily life, compassion is much simpler. It can be as small as listening carefully when someone speaks, offering a kind word, or being patient with a stranger. Even smiling at someone who looks tired can be an act of compassion. However, compassion is not just about being nice. True compassion comes from understanding the pain of others. We must first pause, observe, and listen. Imagine someone cuts in front of you in a line. Your first reaction might be frustration. But what if that person is in a hurry because their child is sick? When we take a moment to consider another person's situation, our anger often fades, replaced by understanding. Buddhism teaches a simple practice to cultivate compassion, loving kindness meditation. You can try this right now. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and think of someone you love. Wish them happiness and peace. Then, extend that wish to a friend, a stranger, and even someone you dislike. Finally, send that same wish to yourself. This practice softens the heart and helps us see others not as enemies, but as fellow human beings, each carrying their own struggles. The more we practice compassion, the more natural it becomes. And the more compassionate we are, the more peaceful our minds become. Instead of reacting with anger, we respond with patience. Instead of judgment, we show understanding. And in this way, we create a world that is not only kinder, but also more peaceful, starting with ourselves. This is the power of compassion. It transforms the world, one small act at a time. In our busy lives, our minds are often filled with worries, regrets, and endless thoughts. We think about the past, we worry about the future, and we rarely focus on the present moment. But true peace is found only in the present. This is why mindfulness is so important. Mindfulness means being fully present, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings, without judgment. In Buddhism, mindfulness is a key practice to calm the mind and open the heart. When we practice mindfulness, we train our minds to be steady, like a calm lake, instead of restless, like a stormy sea. Modern science confirms what Buddhist monks have known for centuries. Research shows that mindfulness can lower stress, improve focus, and even reduce pain. When we pay attention to the present, our minds become less reactive, and we gain greater control over our emotions. Instead of being controlled by anger, anxiety, or sadness, we learn to observe these feelings and let them go. So, how can we practice mindfulness in daily life? It does not require a quiet temple or a special meditation cushion. You can start right now, wherever you are. One of the easiest ways is mindful breathing. Take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. Notice how the air feels as it enters your nose and fills your lungs. feel your breath leaving your body as you exhale. This simple practice brings your mind back to the present. Another way to practice mindfulness is to pay full attention to whatever you are doing. When you drink tea, notice the warmth of the cup in your hands, the aroma rising from it, the taste of each sip. When you walk, feel the ground beneath your feet. When you listen to someone, truly listen, without thinking of what you will say next. These small acts of awareness bring deep peace. Some people think mindfulness means stopping all thoughts, but this is not true. The goal is not to fight thoughts, but to watch them come and go, like clouds passing in the sky. When we observe our thoughts without judgment, they lose their power over us. With regular practice, mindfulness becomes a natural part of life. Instead of being lost in worries or anger, we begin to experience life as it is, peaceful, clear, and full of meaning. Mindfulness is not difficult, but it requires practice. The more we do it, the calmer and happier we become. And when our minds are calm, we can respond to the world with greater wisdom and compassion. Many people find it easy to show compassion to others, but struggle to show the same kindness to themselves. We often judge ourselves harshly, replay our mistakes, and carry burdens of regret. But just as we wish for others to be free from suffering, we must also wish the same for ourselves. True healing begins with self-compassion. Buddhism teaches that suffering is a natural part of life. No one is perfect, and no one lives without pain. Yet, when we suffer, we often react by blaming ourselves or feeling unworthy. This only deepens our pain. Instead, we must learn to accept ourselves with kindness, just as we would comfort a dear friend. Scientific studies show that self-compassion reduces anxiety, depression, and stress. When we treat ourselves with understanding instead of criticism, our minds become calmer and more resilient. Instead of feeling trapped by our failures, we learn from them and move forward with wisdom. So, how can we practice self-compassion? One simple way is through mindful self-talk. The next time you make a mistake, notice how you speak to yourself. Do you use harsh words? If so, pause and ask yourself, would I say this to a close friend? If not, change your words. Speak to yourself with the same warmth you would give to someone you love. Another practice is placing a hand on your heart and silently saying, I am human and I deserve kindness. This small act can bring great comfort. When we acknowledge our own suffering with gentleness, we begin to heal. Forgiveness is also a key part of self-compassion. Many people carry guilt for past mistakes, but holding on to guilt does not erase the past. Instead of punishing ourselves, we should learn from our mistakes and grow. Buddhism teaches that every moment is a new beginning. We cannot change the past, but we can choose how we move forward. Lastly, self-care is not selfish. Taking time to rest, to nourish our bodies, and to do what brings us joy is a way of showing ourselves compassion. A well-rested mind is more patient, and a happy heart is more generous. When we care for ourselves, we have more energy to care for others. Healing begins from within. By practicing self-compassion, we create a peaceful heart. And when our hearts are at peace, we naturally bring peace to those around us. The kindness we show ourselves becomes the foundation for the kindness we give to the world. Compassion is not just an idea. It is a way of living. Through small acts of kindness, mindfulness, and self-compassion, we create a life that is peaceful and meaningful. As we have explored, compassion for others strengthens our hearts, mindfulness calms our minds, and self-compassion helps us heal. These are not separate practices. They are deeply connected, forming the foundation of a life filled with wisdom and peace. In daily life, we may not always remember to be mindful or compassionate. Sometimes we become frustrated, impatient, or overwhelmed. This is natural. The important thing is not to be perfect, but to return to the path whenever we stray. Even a small moment of awareness, a deep breath, a kind word, or a gentle thought can bring us back. Buddhism teaches that every action, no matter how small, shapes our hearts. A single drop of water may seem tiny, but over time, many drops can fill an entire vessel. In the same way, small acts of compassion, repeated each day, can transform our lives. As you continue your journey, I hope you find moments to pause, breathe, and reflect. Let compassion guide your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Through these small steps, you will not only bring peace to yourself, but also to those around you. If you found value in today's talk, I would deeply appreciate it if you could give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps share these teachings with more people who may benefit from them. Always, I am grateful for your likes, subscriptions, comments, and super thanks. Thank you for spending this time with me. May your path be filled with kindness, peace, and wisdom.